Christmas season. Time to rest. Time for contemplation. Cold and darkness rule our days. Or not, because during Christmas time, it's summer in the far south, rainy season, baby season. Whether the weather's wet and hot, or freezing cold. For animals in the wild, Christmas season can be challenging. In the winter, the Badlands of South Dakota live up to their name. It takes a tough beast to make it here. Moving to milder climes is not an option for the bison. So, he packs on his winter coat and plenty of fat to shrug off the cold. But walking in a winter wonderland isn't always so great. Many of the females are pregnant and must save energy. Finding enough forage becomes a daily challenge. They head to where the blanket of snow is not quite as thick, or where the wind has exposed dried grass. In Badlands National Park, more than 1,000 bison roam freely, just as millions of their ancestors once did. Rugged beasts for a rugged terrain. Further west in the US, steaming, flowing water, in the middle of winter, the bison of Yellowstone National Park single-mindedly follow its path. Like their cousins in the Badlands, the deep snow means hard going, but at least here they have warm water. Hot springs, fed by underground volcanic activity, bubble to the surface. Geysers keep the ground ice-free all winter. Heat-loving microorganisms line the springs in layers that look like the surface of another planet. But this is planet Bison. A luxurious part of Yellowstone National Park, off limits to humans, where bison can relax undisturbed. Here, the infernal heat below the surface softens the harsh winters. In the shadow of the Rocky Mountains, When those 3,000-meter peaks of the Rockies guide moist Pacific air into Yellowstone, the snow lays thick. The red fox treads lightly above it, while its prey hides deep below. He listens. A creature is stirring, but it isn't a mouse. He's trying to blank out all other noises. And find his prey beneath the thick snow. He must make as little noise as possible. The meadow vole has no clue. But to catch it, he must strike fast. A small reward for his efforts. South of the equator, Christmas time looks a lot different than it does up north. It's summer, and along the banks of the Amazon, the forecast calls for flurries of butterflies. The bright orange-barred sulfur gather at the still pools. They haven't come for a sip of holiday cheer, but for the salts dissolved in the water. Shallow landing places make great party spots. Mainly males gather around the water. They use their delicate mouth tools to suck up the water, extracting the precious minerals they need. They leave behind the water, drop by drop, when they're done. After the males extract the salt, it's like a last-minute Christmas gift for the females, a mating gift. The salt may help the eggs develop. Salt collecting creates a lot of holiday excitement for Brazil's orange-barred sulfurs. At Christmas time in Borneo, don't expect to see reindeer in the sky. Just rain. Heavy, frequent. The northwest monsoon. In this hot climate, the rain's a real gift. The Bornean sun bear enjoys the chance to cool down. The water starts to flow. By late afternoon, it's happy hour. The male Bornean rock frogs, only 2 centimeters long, have big plans. They're on a mission to mate. Croaking to win the female's favor. But with all this noise, it's hard work. So they vary their calls, singing a medley of long croaks and short croaks in a variety of volumes and pitches. But they can't shout over the waterfall. So the frogs figured out a way to really stand out. It's a big gesture for a little frog in the noisy rainforest. And it works. Each male tries to beckon a female over to him. And once she arrives, it's bedlam. The refined courtship ritual degenerates into an awkward mating attempt. But they manage to get the job done. From Christmas in the rainforest to winter in Canada. A genuine winter wonderland on the banks of the Yukon. Where the snow dampens all sound. Many of the residents spend the holidays hibernating or have moved to sunnier climes. Because the beautiful Yukon winter is bitterly cold, averaging -35°C at night. Grey jays don't mind having the place almost to themselves. This one's happy he doesn't have to share the frozen salmon. He tears into it before the snow buries it again. A Yukon Yuletide brings another joyous gift to the grey jays. In this frozen weather, they incubate their eggs. They build their nests facing the sunny south, whether that makes any real degree of difference or not. Mother grey jay will sit on her eggs for 3 uninterrupted weeks. Leaving the male to battle the elements to find food for both. But the pair has made provisions to carry them through. Months earlier, before the snow flew, the father-to-be stashed food, berries, beetles, and pieces of meat throughout the forest. One single pair of grey jays builds some 10,000 deep freeze storage facilities, and the little birds find about 80% of them. Black spruces make their favourite hiding places. The cracked bark keeps their stash especially safe. When their chicks hatch in a couple of weeks, they'll have a developmental advantage over their fair weather rivals. But until then, it's a pretty frosty affair. A white Christmas. It's the only kind of Christmas Alaska's Dall sheep have ever seen. Though they wear their white coats all year, their fleece provides the perfect winter camouflage. These sure-footed sheep have no reason to leave the treacherous, snowy mountainside. As long as they can scratch out some food from the frozen slopes. It's not always easy. In the bleak midwinter, avalanches and a shortage of food make life difficult. But hardship doesn't dampen their holiday spirit. Round about Christmas time, the males begin to show an interest in the scent of the females. No mistletoe required. Mothers guide their young to lower-lying areas to reduce the risk of tumbling off the mountain, and where food is a little less limited. Christmas dinner for Alaska's Dall sheep means a cold, crunchy meal. Meanwhile, in Australia, one of the world's most dramatic tree lighting ceremonies comes at the height of the summer. Christmas time is the prime forest fire season. Eucalyptus, one of the tallest trees in the world, burns like tinder. But the seed capsules survive and germinate in the scorched earth, where they have no rivals. The ash creates fertile soil for the seedlings. As soon as the rain falls, the life cycle begins anew, until the next forest fire. To the south of Australia, in Tasmania, fires seldom happen because it's too wet. So here, the Australian giant eucalyptus seems to reach to the skies. Young giant eucalyptuses grow several meters per year, unless a water shortage or bushfire occurs. But that seldom happens in western Tasmania. And so, the island's trees, which originally came from the mainland, have grown into some of the tallest deciduous trees in the world. The trees in this valley all germinated together after a devastating fire 400 years ago. Today, they reach almost 100 meters high. Christmas trees of a very special kind, in their home far south of the equator. Above them, once the sun has set, the starry southern sky sparkles in all its glory. And on the coast, the southern lights, the aurora australis, dance on the horizon. This season of sparkling light shines even underwater, in the Caribbean Sea off the coast of Belize. Light chains that live. The tiny lights come from little seed shrimps. They only last for a moment. By regularly firing their flares, the little shrimps leave a trail. Light deters predators and attracts mates, while creating their very own Caribbean Christmas show. Far from the tropics, an ice-cold morning north of the European Alps. In the Alpine forelands, the snow doesn't usually stay on the ground all winter. Fortunately for him. The kingfisher needs open water. His first attempt missed. His plunge into icy water costs him a great deal of energy. He makes his second attempt count. As long as the stream flows, the kingfisher can eat his fill. Other wild animals find Christmas treats in closer proximity to humans. The red squirrel begins to harvest the last apples. He grows long hair on his ears, only in winter. But the magpie is his rival all year round. He knows he stashed nuts around here somewhere. Red squirrels can't remember all their hiding places. Lucky for him, whoever built this snowman has a soft spot for squirrels. Christmas, a time for giving. Surely this is what the snowman builders had in mind. The snowman's still charming, with his gap-toothed smile. In winter, the German city of Stuttgart hosts some especially exotic residents. Even at -7 degrees Celsius, when snow falls and ice covers the roads, they perch in the trees like colourful Christmas ornaments. The yellow-headed Amazons, native to South America, somehow adapted to Stuttgart's winters. They've become part of the urban landscape year-round. No one knows how they got here. They started appearing around 1984. Now about 50 of them live in Stuttgart, the only population of protected yellow-headed Amazons outside America. They eke out a living, eating twigs and snow. Winter in Central Europe is nothing like Mexico, but the birds manage to adapt to life in the big city. In the heart of Brazil, Christmas is warmer, but wetter. The inhabitants of the Cerrado don't find much shelter. Residents like this giant anteater take it in stride. And the burrowing owl tries to shrug it off. A hollowed-out termite nest, the tallest landmark around, provides some shelter. But there's no escaping the soggy Cerrado. Burrowing owls don't nest in trees. Few grow in the Cerrado anyway. Instead, they dig tunnels or use the earthen runways of other animals. Their chicks learn to hunt insects on their own doorstep. During the rainy season, there's no shortage. Locusts. Once you've got the knack, make easy snacking. But what's that? This giant beetle commands respect, even though it's injured. The young owls are intrigued. The thing is indestructible. The Titan beetle's thick shell deflects the owlet's puny attacks. They still have quite a lot to learn. Winter in the heart of Asia. A land of ice, a land of extremes. Not much here to kindle the Christmas spirit. Though life on the Mongolian steppes is no holiday, the nomads have known for centuries how to survive. The herdsmen set up their winter camps close to the horses. If a storm approaches, they round up the animals and lead them to the southern slopes, where they can find shelter from the biting wind. Wolves wait impatiently for nightfall to make their move. Never far away, black vultures scan for fallen gazelles. In these cold conditions, the Bactrian camels may have the best winter wardrobe. But even they huddle as darkness falls. At night, the Mongolian plains can fall to minus 50 degrees Celsius. One of the coldest places on our planet. A Mongolian winter lasts 6 bitter months. All the water freezes. To replenish their supplies, the herdsmen don't need buckets, just ice picks and strong backs. They'll take the ice back to the yurts and melt it. Some will go into classic Mongolian milk tea with salt. Perfect for warming up after expeditions like this one. The Christmas season in Mongolia is a time of extremes for all who live here. On the other side of the world, water flows more freely in the South Atlantic. Just north of the Antarctic, the little island of South Georgia sits covered in glaciers. Nevertheless, it's a summer paradise. At Christmas, the island hosts a family reunion for some 2 million king penguins. It's their most important breeding ground. The parents-to-be shop for nesting places, while the young penguins born last season cavort. They'll wear their woolly brown down for about a year. Then they lose it bit by bit during awkward adolescence. By age 3, they'll start families of their own. King penguins often mate for life and reunite even after many months of separation at sea. Their clumsy copulation apparently does the trick. Before the female lays an egg in about a week, the parents must find a suitable piece of land. Homes close to the water are the most desirable. Maneuvering the egg into the warm fold of skin takes some practice. But they'll have enough time in the next 2 months. The parents take turns sitting on the egg, switching it about every 2 weeks. While one partner incubates the egg, the other goes fishing. Around Christmas, the chick hatches. It's completely helpless, cared for around the clock by Mum and Dad. The penguins have nothing to fear from humans on the island, at least not anymore. Once, South Georgia was a seal hunter's paradise, and then a whaling station. The ruins remain. Norwegian whalers even brought reindeer with them, but not the flying kind. The reindeer multiplied rapidly, jeopardizing the island's delicate ecosystem. Images like this are a thing of the past. Whale hunters and the reindeer are long gone. South Georgia is now for the seals and birds. Where Christmas is surely one of the most exciting times of the year. Where it's the height of summer, complete with snow and ice. Where hundreds of thousands of visitors enjoy sunset on the beach. And where a dip in the sea can sometimes last a couple of weeks. Snow falls softly at night. Some winters, it seems to bury the Alps. The red deer sinks up to his stomach, making foraging almost impossible. Every step costs the heavy animal valuable energy. But they must keep going. Smaller, lighter animals have the advantage, as the red deer seek shelter at the edge of the forest. The young golden eagle looks for prey, but everyone's hiding. Mountain hares are masters of camouflage. Once the snow melts, their fur changes to earth tones, so they can still escape the eagle's eye. This young eagle's ability to fly doesn't make the snow any less dangerous for him. He cannot get a grip when he lands. Lumps of ice have formed between his flight feathers. If he doesn't de-ice, he'll freeze to death. The king of the air, vulnerable in his first winter. For mountain animals, every winter is a test. Although some choose to get snowed in, like the rock ptarmigan, blending into their winter home. In eastern Tasmania, no one's dreaming of a white Christmas. But some residents don snow-white apparel. White wallabies, unique to the island. The conspicuous little albino kangaroos would have been eaten a long time ago if they didn't live here. Tasmania has no predators large enough to kill a wallaby. And so the population thrives. About 100 of them live on the island now. Where they enjoy peace on Earth. Just offshore from Australia's glorious tropical beaches, a more colourful Christmas spectacle. Underwater. The Great Barrier Reef. A tropical world, bathed in natural light. Delicate and endangered, the largest coral reef on Earth. Where big and small fish forge alliances. Where fish and sea anemones show goodwill, a world unlike anywhere else on Earth. Coral is home for 15,000 species of fish. Fish eaters hide and hunt their fill. The cuttlefish is nothing if not adaptable, changing color to match its background. The mantis shrimp looks for a better place to ambush its prey. A shell flashes off a flare. Actually, she is only waving the seam of her coat. Plankton cater the clear waters of the reef, feeding many of its inhabitants, including these, Christmas trees. Or more precisely, Christmas tree worms. The colourful little trees are not plants, but animals. Bristleworms that push spiral tentacles out of their living tubes to filter plankton and oxygen out of the reef water. A very special Christmas miracle. And now, back to our more familiar world, where Christmas time means family time. When we remember old traditions and maybe create new ones. When we snuggle up by candlelight and in the glow of the warming fire. Caught up in the stress of our everyday lives, it's easy to forget how miraculous this season can be. Warm and cozy.